We're given to understand that leaders have started arriving. In fact, you can see Prime Minister Narendra Modi there arriving for the COP28 Summit. We were just talking about the interview he gave to Al Ittihad before the summit, where he spoke about the role of developing nations. He said developing nations have not contributed to creating this problem, but we are willing to be a part of the solution. But that cannot be done without the developing nations being provided technology and finance as assistance to cope with the issue. There you can see on your visuals the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, arriving for the COP28 Summit. Rishabh is also with us on the broadcast. Rishabh, leaders have started arriving. Those were the visuals of the Prime Minister.
उन लक्ष्यों को प्राप्त करने के लिए जो भारत को हरित ऊर्जा की दिशा में एक अग्रणी देश.
It was an in and out visit where he met the president of UAE and assured all possible support from India in shaping up the documentation of COP28. Remember, India has been a vocal player in when it comes to climate and how the global south, for that matter, needs to be assisted. As you mentioned in Prime Minister's voice, it needs to be recognized that the developing countries were not the reason for the problem, and yet the developing countries are ready to be the part of the solution of climate issues. And hence, these developing countries, which constitute largely of global south, needs to be assisted, be it financially or technologically, to ensure that they do not suffer because the developed countries have overused the potential energies in past. And this is something that India has been advocating here. Today, Prime Minister would be speaking at 4 instances in next 6 to 7 hours. First, at the opening session, where India will put forward not only its own concerns and reservations as well as achievements, but also the concerns that the global south have. Remember, India has hosted 2 Voice of Global South in last 1 year, one in January, one earlier last month. And having taking a cue from those meetings, India would be speaking on behalf of the global south to ensure that whenever the climate action program starts functioning, the developing countries do not bear the brunt of what the developed countries have done. Apart from that, he'll be speaking at climate financing, he'll be speaking at the green credit and other events today. There are 7 bilaterals that are being scheduled for Prime Minister. The details have yet not been divulged. The last minute nitty-gritties of those bilaterals are being worked upon as we are talking. And then there will be number of informal meetings as well for Prime Minister. As you mentioned, there are over 130 leaders who are in Dubai today, and Prime Minister would be holding informal discussions with them as well. So a packed day for Prime Minister, a packed day for the Prime Minister, who will not only be representing India but also be vocal for the global south at the Conference of Parties 28.
Absolutely. And the live visuals that we're getting at this point of time, the Prime Minister there arriving for the summit. Also, we saw him talking to the Deputy Prime Minister Sheikh Saif bin Zayed Al Nahyan, who was also at the airport, Rishabh, to welcome the Prime Minister. The Indian diaspora is elated to meet the Prime Minister, to interact with him. And we'll keep on tracking all the developments, updates. Like Rishabh said, the Prime Minister will be delivering 4 speeches. There are some bilaterals as well, some special initiatives for climate action that the Prime Minister is going to be a part of. We'll have a quick break. We'll be back with more.